I think he's been very supportive, but lots of American presidents have been very supportive. Richard Nixon was very supportive, crucially, during the Yom Kippur War and providing arms shipments that probably saved Israel from destruction. George W. Bush was a very supportive president. Ronald Reagan was a very supportive president. Bill Clinton was a very supportive president. Most presidents have been supportive. I think Trump has been very dramatic in his support. He's chosen some very symbolic steps, which is in his nature, right? So something like recognizing Jerusalem as the capital and actually moving the American embassy there is something that American presidents have been basically promising to do for decades. He was the one who actually did it. It's not the most important thing in the world, but it's a very symbolic move, and it's sort of in keeping with his kind of, presidential style. And certainly pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal, a controversial decision certainly globally, as pretty much all of our allies, well, in Europe, I would say, supported that deal, but our allies in the Middle East didn't support the deal. He pulled out of it. That was certainly in the Israeli interest, I would argue, certainly the Israeli government would argue. But on the other hand, some of his moves have been clumsy. I think the kind of unmitigated support for Mohammed bin Salman in Saudi Arabia, who carried out this horrible murder of an American resident journalist in the Turkish consulate, in the Saudi consulate in Ankara, in Istanbul, a couple months ago, last year. That was a horrible act. And the war in Yemen that's been carried out very ruthlessly. I think that Trump has maybe not handled the relationship with the Saudis so well. So there's been some clumsiness. There's been some strategic farsightedness. It's a mixed picture.